big business is really hard on employees in many ways, and this is a good example. I mean, this is an example, if you look at it objectively, that Goodell and the NFL exercised an enormous amount of power and kind of beat Brady up. And he's just not going to sit and take it, even though his options are very limited.
But he can appeal if he loses this and go to a higher court. He can go all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. But the chances of, I mean, look, the chances of his succeeding at any of these levels is very, very low. I mean, if you look at, the Supreme Court takes 100 cases a year. What is interesting about this case, if he gets denied at the federal court level?
As I said, does he lose? The Players Association, which signed a horrible deal with the NFL, has been embarrassed through this whole thing, is never going to sign this type of deal ever again with the owners. So
ever.
I think that's what he's doing. He's protecting all the players in football and their right to protect themselves. He's not just protecting himself. He's protecting all players, and people don't realize that and talk about that subject.
Well, but I think that's one of the important subjects. The fact is that the collective bargaining agreement, which is what this all revolves around, basically, the courts are going to, not interfere with whatever that collective bargaining agreement.
Because it was a contract.
Because it's a contract. And what this really, one of the things that, entrepreneurs should understand is that a contract is a contract. And the cost, you enter into a collective bargaining agreement so you don't end up with litigation. And look what's happened. I mean, can you imagine what the costs of this litigation are? It's enough to, feed a small country for years and years. The unfairness aspect of this really is that I think the punishment for tampering with equipment in the NFL is a financial fine of, $5,000 or $6,000. I mean, it's not a suspension. Everybody's talking about how this, affects the integrity of the game. This Brady dialogue, and what they're not talking about are the concussions or the use of PEDs. I mean, think about how ironic that is.